All right, so we going forward here with the halachot of tzedakah and meiser, and now we're going to come to a very common question that people ask: how much should I give? Let's say a guy comes to you in shul, or a guy knocks on your door. How much should I give? How much should I give? We already spoke before about regular anim, regular people who are in need, and we give them charity, which is we have to give them whatever they can, and the bare minimum, something that will altogether will be involved, will be enough for them to get the basic needs, plus children's education and so on and so forth. Not that you yourself have to do that. I mean, of course, if you have the means, by all means do that. However, that we in the community have to make sure. But let's say somebody comes knocking at your door. How much do I have to give him? What is appropriate to give to a person who comes knocking at your door? So the Gemara in Bava Batra in Daf Tet Amud Aleph, it says that it is not appropriate to give to a poor person who is knocking on the door matana gdola, a lot of money. It's not appropriate. Okay? And however, on the other hand, you're not allowed to send them with nothing in his hand. But you have to give him matana moetet. You have to give him give him something, And in other words, the amount that it will be appropriate for you to give a guy comes to knock at the door is enough for him to buy, let's say, something to eat. Yeah, of course, that will change from one country to another, and so on and so forth. But argument's sake, let's say how much is a bagel? Just a plain bagel.
$1.50.
50 cents.
No, let's say $1.50. No.
Well, $1.50. What are you buying there? A whole loaf of bread? Let's say a bagel. A guy gives the guy a bagel. Okay, $1. That's expensive. Have 50 cents. Fine. You know what? Fine. No problem. $1. And how much is a cup of coffee? $1. Yalla. So give him $2. Enough for him to eat something. Give him $2, and that's it. In other words, if let's say you live in Israel and things are cheaper there, so you give him something. Give him whatever is coming to the thing. But don't give him more than that. Why? Because the Gemara says in Bava Kama, in Daf Tet Zayin Amud Bet, based on that, it says that since he got used to be mechazer al ptachim, since he got used to coming knocking at the door and snoring, right? How much money I know? How much he's going to collect? Maybe he collected so much that he doesn't really need, and it doesn't mean okay. Now let me collect because tomorrow I don't have. In other words, he needs to collect whatever he has today. Today you have food. You can't collect for tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow you win the lottery. We're going to give the money back to people. Okay, so and maybe already has it, and is still asking and collecting the people, and by doing so, he's I wouldn't say he's machshil the people, but he's not helping people because they give him money to a person who doesn't need tzedakah. So they think that they're doing tzedakah, and the lemaisa they're not doing tzedakah. They're not doing any mitzvah here because they gave money to a person. For example, let's say Sam, you need money right now. No, you have money. So if you go to Zalman, he says, hey, Zalman, do me a favor. I need $5 for tzedakah. So Zalman gives you the money. That's not tzedakah. He just gave you the money. Without getting into this, how you have to return him or not. But that's not called tzedakah. Or let's say Reb's over there, right? He needs. He says, "Oh my goodness, I didn't give tzedakah this year. I have to give tzedakah like I'm obligated to do. I have to give tzedakah. So you know what, Idan? Here, take $5. There will be tzedakah. There's not tzedakah in this. Tzedakah for what? There's not tzedakah. So we have to be very careful. And I'll tell you something else also. If you're already giving, it's not necessarily that I have to make this guy get first, because according to the halacha, I have to give people who are close by to me, or my neighbors, or in my town first. I don't have to give a guy that comes from Israel knocking on the door for money. I really don't. And if a guy comes and he wants to do a wedding and so on and so forth, okay, so give yourself. But I don't have to. It was crazy. I right after my father's Shiva, I was standing in the airport waiting to get in. It was a summer, so a lot of people are waiting there. And this guy comes, he's in the line, because the line in El Al is like the lines to eternity. You can build a Chinese wall, there's so many people. The guy goes from one person to another, and he targets the frum people. He says, listen, can you give me tzedakah? I need money, I'm going to get money, get married. He's coming to the airport at 3 o'clock in the morning, collecting tzedakah for people. You know how much money he made? It's ridiculous. So how do I know that? How do I know that the person who's coming in the door needs more money than my neighbor? The poor people of your city comes first. There's a certain priority, so it shouldn't be hefkerut. Even if he has a letter today, right? They come to you with a letter, a letter. I mean, it's a letter, it's a certificate. Here's a certificate. So it's very nice. It doesn't mean that he needs to take money from the local tzedakah more than anybody else in the neighborhood that needs it. He doesn't come first. There's a line. One time a guy came knocking on my door. I gave him $2. He says to me, "No, that's not enough." He says, "That's what you're giving me, $2." I says, "What do you? That's all I have. I was in college. I wasn't making any money. So that's all I have." I said, "Yeah." He says, "No, I don't want it." I said, "You don't want it? Take it. Give it back." So I took it back. He went around. He said, "Okay, let's tzarich," and he turned around. So I went to the rabbi. I said to him, "Listen, this is crazy." He said to me, "Let me tell you something, that he probably wasn't not ani." I said to him, "How do you know he wasn't ani?" He says the Gemara, it's very simple. Ein ha'ani meish panav. And ani, a real person who is great in money, he's not going to be like this, so brazen in front of well, that's all you give me. If he doesn't, he's not an ani. So he probably did you a favor. You just didn't spend $2 on excuse me, on somebody who doesn't need it. And even more so, who said that this person coming at the door from another town or from another country, who said that I'm obligated to give him more than the Mosdot the Torah, or the kollel in my neighborhood, or the yeshiva in my neighborhood, or whatever it is in my neighborhood? I have a chiyuv to support the places in my neighborhood, right? Which is, of course, another thing, to be able to send your kids. You should send your kids, to the yeshivot in your neighborhood, and don't send them so you can say, "Oh, my son went to this yeshiva, or my daughter went to that yeshiva," and so on and so forth. "Oh, we saw super frum. We sent our girls to Brooklyn," You have mosdot in the city, and fix it. If it's not for your liking, fix it. Right? But I'm still obligated to give it them. I need to support them. So how does a guy comes in all of a sudden he wants to collect money for this, collects money for that? I'm collecting money for. There was a guy. I mean, I can tell you stories about it. It's very interesting. There's a guy one time coming in my house, years ago. He collected money for, I forgot what it was. Okay, his mother was sick, his wife was sick, his dog was sick, everybody was sick. He shows me a picture, his girl like this, and I'm saying this is disgusting. I said, I don't believe that a person that chas v'shalom has kids in this situation would present his kids like this. What are we in India? In India they break the legs of the people to become beggars for life. So this is impossible. But I gave him something. Next year, the same thing. I said, "What? They didn't get better?" I said, "No, but they never." I said, "Well, he says to me, "No, I was never here." I said, "How are you never here?" Those pictures are still stuck in my head from last year. So he turned around and left. Yes, there was a guy. There was a guy, a Breslov guy, used to come to my house. You could tell the guy's mamash ani. So I used to give him some. Sometimes I didn't have anything. I said, "I'm sorry, I didn't have any. I really don't have." I said, "Do you want something to eat?" He says, "Please, let me." So he will come to my house, and we'll make him coffee, we'll let him eat fruit, we'll eat him bagels, That's different. Or there was a guy who was really mamash crying. He says to me, he was thankful. You could tell. But if a person is a professional schnorrer, I don't have any chiyuv to give him. That's why it's appropriate to give you maaser money from your earning, according to the best. According to your shikul dat, according to the best of your abilities, and by doing so, you say chovat tzedakah. And for those who come to your house and knock on the door, you give him something more. Give him $2. That's it. They like it, doesn't like it, doesn't like it. Not like this guy who one time just simply, and I was in Kola. I told you this. He comes in. My wife was there. She was petrified. He comes in, knocking on the door, opens the door, walks inside, wants money. My wife starts screaming, "Get out of here! Get out of here!" He just walks in. So then it just happens. He left and I came. So he comes in, he comes to me like this. I said, what do you want? He said to me, no, I don't have money for you. I said, what do you need to come to? He said, give me a check and make sure it's not less than $18. I said, get out of here. He's going to tell me how much money to make sure it's not less than $18. A guy comes, he has on the telephone. He says, just give me the thing. I have a device here. I'll swipe. I said, it's a minaniza. You know how much this thing? I don't have this machine. You have a machine to swipe the card with the machine. So we're not talking about this. There are unfortunately many people who are really poor and are great need. And we should be also responsible with our assets, with our money, to be able to give them, because we are obligated to help them. So since we are obligated to help these people, we are obligated to make sure that our money goes into the right places. You can't just spread your money like this for people that don't need it. Because you still need to give tzedakah, even if you think you did, but you didn't, because you gave it to people who don't need it. Okay? So that's something very important. So Rabotai, first of all, I really want to thank all these people that really sent us emails from really all over the world about the shiurim, and they have some remarks, they have some questions, and I really like it. I really enjoy it. So if you have any questions or you have any suggestions, and they better be nice suggestions, because I don't want to take nasty letters. Baruch Hashem, we haven't gotten any, but I just you can do so at rabbigaon@gmail.com. You can also look at the Yeshiva website, yeshiva.etzion.com. We have a PayPal account if you want to help us, because that will be tremendous. You could, do whatever you want. You could donate, support us for a day of learning. You want to sponsor a breakfast or whatever, that's not a problem. Just, give it for you can do it for the Yeshiva. What else? What?
For somebody's little mishmat, something like that, I guess.
And what you say also? You call it my fund? Fund me? GoFundMe. Also we have, right? And we have something else also. When you buy stuff on Amazon, do Amazon Smile and put the Yeshiva name there, because it also helps us a lot. Every little thing helps. And Baruch Hashem, as you can see, we have a lot of books here, and hopefully we'll use them all. And that's it. So until tomorrow, until next time, have a great day and do a lot of tzedakah.